And welcome back, everyone. Welcome to World Team League 2022 Winter Code S Round 9, day number 3. I'm, of course, your host, Light VIP, and with me, will be soon joined by the one, the only, the AsherBro. I will let you know when he does join us. At the moment, he is at the behest of Rufio. Old mate Rufus is looking after him. Or he's looking after Rufus. It's hard to say. Uh, but yes, he's a little bit preoccupied for the time being, but the show must go on. And we have a banger of a series here to start things off. We are going to be going into Alpha X versus Good Game Gaming. GGG! Oh, and we can see the ace players right here. Astrea going up against Dream. Of course, two amazing and beautiful, talented specimens. And the ace players happen to be facing each other here as well. As we can see, we're going to be starting off with Astrea versus Dream, RagnaroK versus Cyan, and Zoun versus Rattata. Oh boy. And it also seems like I am not alone in my endeavor. It seems like I am joined by the one, the only. Are you alive, Asher?
Tell me more. Tell me about the team's light. I'm just enjoying being a viewer.
Oh my god.
Hello.
Yes, thank you for joining me. But I hope everything's okay. I hope everything is okay in the land of Asher. And yeah, I was really worried because I know that you really wanted to be a part of this, especially, mate, the first matchup. Oh my god.
It's Dream. He's so dreamy.
It's beyond.
What? Animal.
It's beyond, Poppy.
Beyond.
But yes, very dreamy. Speaking of dreamy, here he is, Max Goddamn Angel. Solid here with his hexagon, apparently lacking in the offense. I don't know about that. Apparently a B player as well. I don't know about that either. Yeah. Dream also apparently with a more well-rounded hexagon here.
Yeah, there we go. And we'll have these two players matching up on inside and out. Looks like the organizers giving Astrea a slight nod, maybe just recognizing some of his achievements in the past season.
I would hope so, especially in the recent months. He has been on fire. I also should let you know that you're probably a couple of seconds ahead of me.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yes, just a bit of a heads up here, as we do see their head-to-head. Game 1's gonna be inside and out. Game 2 to be determined. I'm not privy to the server selection, but I believe Game 1 will be on Korea. And do you know, I guess, as far as we are concerned, Astrea did go back to the United States for the holidays? ?
Yeah, as far as I know, he's not in Korea at the moment. I think when he was in Korea, he was streaming quite a bit and playing on Korea. And it doesn't seem like he's doing that right now. So I presume he's not there at the moment.
Okay. Fair enough. So there's going to be a little bit of a latency disparity between our two players. But of course, that still means that we will have amazing, beautiful, and wonderful games. I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you saw the lineups for today, but mate, we got some solid TVX matchups for you, mate.
Yeah, plenty of Terran. Beautiful stuff. You love to see it.
Let's see them all die, Poppy.
I know.
What do you mean?
Just,
you know? What are you
it's just
talking
fuel
about?
for the narrative. It's fine.
What do you mean? Oh my god. As it looks like we have begun, and in the bottom left-hand corner of Inside Now, we have the American Protoss, Alpha X's Astrea.
And in the top right-hand corner of the map for Good Game Gaming GGG, this is Dream.
Oh boy. And we'll see if he can I was gonna say Sundere. If he can serenade Astrea with his dreamy good looks.
Or as we have both players slightly in the dark, so not going full Zerg mode on us. Oh, yeah, cool. We're good.
Cool. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, they're gonna be slightly in the dark. We do see Astrea does move out with his probe. We're gonna be scouting around his map. Also, bit of an interesting look here. He is gonna be like maybe half smudging. Um, it looks like the room light isn't on, but his desk lamp light is on. I don't know. It's
I thought you meant he had a half his hood up. I didn't really know how that was gonna work out.
Like no, he's not pulling a full Scarlet, where Scarlet just plays like in a dark room. You know, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at.
The 50%.
Yeah. Oh my god. As yeah, we're just gonna be getting into our first game. So far, nothing too crazy. We do see actually a Rax expand coming out from Dream.
Yeah, so Dream going for the Rax expand. Dream also one that quite likes to go for some reactor factory type builds, so wouldn't be surprised to see him mixing that in here as well, as it does look like he's going to be going for the reactor just off the Marine. That might be what he's looking for here.
Yeah, I guess that is what he's going to be going for. Just going for a relatively economic opener. He's throwing down his bunker as well to make sure that his CC is going to be safe. We're on a bit of a smaller map, so no surprises here that Astrea opts not to go for a Stargate. We see the Twilight Council thrown down instead.
Gonna be Proxy Hellion. Yeah, let's go.
Oh. Yeah, the starport's thrown down the middle of the map, so we're going to be seeing a bit of a drop headed towards Astrea's base. We'll see if he can actually try and piece this all together, as he does have an adept outside the natural looking to shade in and try and get some scouting information.
Yeah, so there we go. We'll have that just sitting out the front there. Should be able to catch that move out of the Hellions. Might even be able to put a little bit of damage on them, as we do see Dream is trying to dodge that out, make sure that he's spotted at the last possible second, and he should be able to take out this adept as well with some good micro.
Yeah, but it looks like a second adept is going to be joining the fray here, so he's going to be adding a little bit of extra DPS. So far, he has, of course, confirmed that we do have a couple of Hellions here, and it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to be able to move out to go for that drop without being spotted, but it looks like the adepts do back off.
Yeah, it looks like as well the Hellions just making sure to keep all their health. I really like this by Dream that he didn't commit to try to take out the Adept and slow down his timing, but he's just going to keep all of these safe, and looks like he's going to be going for the 5th and 6th Hellion as well, so he can just send these straight on in now.
Yeah, at the same time, I was really curious because I didn't see any additional gateways or many additional gateways thrown down off of this Twilight Council. We don't have Blink. The Madman is going straight into DTs.
It's a pretty interesting follow-up. This build does tend to do pretty well versus DTs when you go for a lower unit count, but it looks like Astrea's managed to get out a good amount of units to help deal with this Hellion drop, so it's going to be a little bit later than usual, but it is also quite well hidden.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. As you just pointed out, the Hellions, the big byproduct of dealing damage, is also getting a full scout of the main base, and for the time being, Dream hasn't gotten in there. He doesn't know what the tech opener was. He doesn't know what the follow-up is until now he gets in towards the main base, but it looks like the Dark Shrine is nowhere to be found.
Oh, a lot of these probes going to be going down, though we do have 8 probes going down. It's a pretty good amount of damage if you can get out with this medevac. That is well worth it. Oh,
exactly. Does get out in the end. Does save 2 of those Hellions. But again, he hasn't sorted the tech. There we go. It is at the natural, not in the main. The Warp Prism is across the map. We're going to be seeing some DTs being morphed in. And how much energy, how many scans do we have available for Dream?
Yeah, it's going to be very important that he saves those scans. As well, Astrea is researching Blink, so it's really going to throw him off the scent. But once again, a Dream dipping on in, going to be getting even more damage.
Oh, exactly. 4 probes are going to be going down, and there we go. Finally, the Dark Shrine has been scouted, but is it too late? There we go. Immediately, he's throwing down some turrets, but the DTs do hit the mineral lines.
Yeah, there we go. Didn't even catch those DTs at all. They are right on in there. Does Dream have a scan to deal with this? Looks like, yes, beautiful surround with the mineral walk on the SCVs. Isn't quite going to be able to... Oh, actually does have a second scan here in the main. So this is beautifully done here by Dream. And Astrea actually committing very hard to these DTs. Is not going to be able to get any damage done with these 2 tanks here.
Oh, exactly. The turret is already done. 10 workers went down for 2 DTs. We can see here in the units lost, pretty similar when it comes to the overall workers lost, but the investments were quite different, especially because basically Dream only lost minerals because he did end up saving that medevac.
Yeah, there we go. So Astrea actually going to be whooping in these warping these DTs together into the Archons, so we'll be able to look for a little bit of extra damage here, especially if you can find a lone tank and drop on top of that. They can actually deal with them quite quickly.
Oh yeah, they're quite thick, tanky boys, and they're looking to dive on top of that tank. Have to be a little bit careful due to that turret and due to those marines, but oh, they actually almost target down that medevac, already getting to half HP. At the same time, it looks like we see a transition. 4 gateways are thrown down, and we do see charge on the way. Ooh, just barely not losing those Archons.
Yeah, Zarkon's putting some pretty good damage down on those SEVs, so Astrea just getting the most out of his units there. Does have his third up and running as well, so a very smooth transition coming out from him.
Oh yeah, very smooth indeed. Oh boy, and we'll see kind of where this all leads us. It looks like Astrea is going to be delaying his splash damage for the time being. I don't believe I spotted a robotic spade thrown down, so he's going for 5 additional gateways, going for charge, going for immortals, kind of a mass swarm toss style instead.
Yeah, it's just going to be going into that full zealot style. That should give him a lot of dominance over the map. Might make it very hard for Dream to land his third as well. We do see Dream just getting on to his upgrades, going to get that combat shields +1 on the way, trying to skirt around with this drop to clear out the map vision as well.
Yeah, exactly. Just making sure that he can expand and take his third base a little bit unhindered, able to push away Astrea. But as we say that Astrea is going to be active on the map again, he knows that for the time being, Dream is stuck on 2 bases. He knows that, again, his goal right now is just to make taking that third base as difficult as possible.
Yeah, there we go. We do have the Archons. We've got the Sentry Zealots, Stalkers here. This is a serious force for Astrea. And Dream looking to move across the map, but Astrea is already here to meet him. And these force fields are really going to slow him down. Any time that Astrea can buy for himself to get extra Zealot warp-ins is just going to make it that much more difficult for Dream to get anything done with this push.
Yeah, exactly. He's just being slowed down time and time again. We do have a lot of tanks, though. We have 4 tanks. I believe we have a 5th tank rolling its way down the ramp as well. Robotics Bay is being produced as we speak, so soon we're going to be seeing some disruptors or some colossi, but Dream is not stopping, by the way. He's continuing his push.
Oh my god, Astrea took my Robo Bay away from me. Not Robo Bay.
Not the Bay, Papi. Aye. The boys are being pulled, by the way,
Yes.
so Dream is going giga all in on 2 bases.
I love this choice. This is a really good choice as well. He's hidden it quite well. All the splash that's here for Astrea is just these 2 Archons. If he can start to focus them down, that'd be really fantastic for him. But he is going to be losing a few Marines here to this force field. Going to need those SEVs just up front to try buffer for all of those Zealots. But already we're seeing the Marine count for Dream is being punished. And with that combat shield finishing up, this is about as good as this timing's ever going to get.
Yeah, but you know, we already have 1 disruptor ready here for Astrea. How good is this Nova going to be? We have to hold on to it, hold as long as we can, and let it all out at the last moment here, as we do see Astrea looking to collapse on top of the army.
Yeah, there you go, Dream. Actually finding those Archons there. Beautiful splits coming out from Dream, but just not good enough, and the Zealot's getting right on top of these tanks. It feels like Dream is just a little bit too spread out here, and Astrea going to be crushing this push and taking the game.
Gee, that Nova was honestly insane. The surround as well. Not just that engagement towards the end, but the way that Astrea was able to have map control and slow it down from the very beginning.
Yeah, there we go. Lovely stuff. And that does mean that Dream gets his map pick here for the next one, but that's a pretty rough first game. It does feel like things went the way that he wanted to, and Astrea went for... It's a bit of an unusual build. It's quite strange sometimes to be so reactionary as the Protoss, but it really was effective catching Dream off guard there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, the DTs were able to definitely deal some counter damage. The Archons had their place as well, and we just saw some really crisp macro from Astrea, aside from just, you know, getting his map control, but also it was really clutch that he was able to get that first disruptor out on time. It's possible that he would have been able to defend without it, to be fair. It may have been a closer engagement, but regardless, like, the fact that he did have it out in time, the fact that he was able to buy time for it, yeah, just very impressive play from Astrea.
Yeah, that felt like a very clean game, despite all the damage in the early game. And it can be really hard to play cleanly when you've taken that much damage. It throws all your timings off. So Astrea showing that he's very comfortable under fire there, is able to get the job done, and will be feeling confident coming into game 2, looking to get Alpha X a nice little lead in this matchup.
Oh, exactly. And I wonder, there we go. We do have our second map choice from Dream, and it looks like he wants to go under the sea.
Yeah, interesting to go for a little bit of a larger map. Looks like Dream wants a bit more space to work with, wants to draw this out into a bit more of a macro game as well. So he will have the opportunity to do so on this map. It's also possible that he just wants to proxy Reaper him. This can be a good map for that too. So we'll just have to see what the strategy is going to be.
Definitely, definitely. Also, I just realized, I believe these are new GGG jerseys that Dream is flaunting, and look at him pulling at the shirt. You know, he wants you to know, he wants you to see his name, mate. Ugh.
He wants to take it off.
He wants to take it, yeah.
He's like, I want to be like light.
Where's my V-neck? Why is my chest covered? I can relate. I can see it in Dream's eyes. I can see he wants it. He wants it, puppy.
He's like, why couldn't my chest be part of the jersey? I can't believe you guys.
As we do have in the bottom left-hand corner, representing Alpha X, Astrea.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner for Good Game Gaming. This is Dream.
Oh boy, and yeah. Unfortunately, you know, Astrea, he didn't make the mistake of looking into Dream's eyes. Otherwise, he would have been captivated by the entrancement. He would have been stuck forever, just looking deep into him.
It does look like he might be falling into a dream, though. His camera's getting a little blurry.
It is. Oh my god.
Maybe it's getting a little steamy in there. He really enjoyed that last game.
He's getting lightheaded, mate. He's swooning, puppy. Oh
my heat god. Waves. Yeah.
Things are heating up over in Texas. I don't know where he's from. Is he? He's from California, right? Like he's like near Biggs. Yeah.
He's inside him.
Asher, this is why do you always say I'm the one that escalates things?
At his house.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Did you see that factory being started up? We are getting that first Marine out. Looks like the factory not going to be right next to the racks this time, so probably not going to be looking to switch that over for fast Hellions or mines or anything like that. Just going to be a little bit more of a standard build coming out this time.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we saw those two maybe a little bit too close together last game, Touch and Tips, and now we're all about social distancing. They need to calm down. This is a professional setting. You know, we're in the workplace. We're all friends here.
Big for yourself.
Oh,
as we do have a Twilight counter being started up for Astrea, and Dream going to be cutting up a few little corners here. He's actually going to be skipping out on that bunker, and looks like he is going to be getting away with it so far. Pretty interesting that he managed to piece together that he would be okay to do that.
Yeah, it's very possible that Astrea may have some tendencies on J2C. You were talking about it before, about how, you know, this is a good map for proxies, and maybe he knew that Astrea would be spending a little bit more time looking for that instead of going across map to delay any kind of CC. So regardless of what it was that kind of prompted Dream to do this, good read.
Yeah, there we go. We are going to be having this Hellion just being sent out to do a little bit of scouting as well. So behind this, a mine drop coming out from Dream as well. So he's getting plenty of scouting. He's going to get that follow-up scout with the mine drop. Maybe a little bit of damage, but just mainly wants to see what's going on the side of Astrea. And for Astrea, looks like things are quite standard. Just going to be going for a blink build.
Yeah, exactly. And it's quite important to take note of that, right? Especially because the last game he delayed his blink for a Dark Shrine, so that's why it's all the more important for Dream to get in here and get that scouting information. You know, it's scouting first, damage second.
Exactly. As here we go, we do see the extra gas being thrown down, so just going to be a 3-gate robo. Pretty standard blink build, and probably looking to expand quite fast off of this as well.
Yeah, exactly. Should be looking to do so. Meanwhile, we do see the drop headed towards that main base. Oh my god, even picking up an additional unit. Actually, picking up the Hellion as well on the way over. Ooh. Interesting adaptation.
Yeah, very cute. Might even be able to use that Hellion just to drop that one out first. Prompt a little bit of a reaction as if it's a proxy Hellion. Although, I'm not really sure what that does.
I'm not sure either. As oh my god, the probes line up. Some decent damage was dealt. First one right shot is going to be going off. The second one is going to be baited out as well. And all in all, you know, we were able to deal a little bit of damage and save one mine.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that Hellion's supposed to do there, because, I mean, the mine's one shot, so...
Look,
I guess, what else are you going to do with it?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Unfortunately, the drop gets dealt with, and we see once again, mate, Astrea, he's all about the NA strats. It's much later compared to the last game, but he's going for the Dark Shrine again.
Actual clown build.
Yeah. No one does this. You either delay blink and go for the fastest DTs you can, or you just don't get it until like the mid game or the late game. But he's going for it anyway. At the same time, he can blink into the main base, and that tank is looking a little bit exposed, but a little bit mistimed. Doesn't go for it in the end. Yeah,
there goes Astrea. Gonna be having a little look around. Sees that the SimCity is good. The tank's in a good spot. Doesn't really want to blink in and lose everything there. He's gonna look for another opening here, and kind of just wants to show this pressure as well. This looks very much like it won't be DTs. The other thing is, when you have a Raven like this for Dream, you're not likely to be saving scans. So if he's able to pick off that Raven, it could make the DTs a lot more effective. And that Raven's straying a little too far there. It is going to be caught before it can go down.
Oh, exactly. It looks like one more volley and it will go down. At the same time, the tanks do reposition. Wintermine does go back into the main base, and Astrea is caught looking. He does split, and he only loses 2 probes.
Yeah, there we go. 2 probes going down. Not really sure where that one came from. I guess the medevac hung around the main, as we do see. Dream is going to be going into his stim, into his combat shields. Going to be very safe here with this tank, but Astrea does have a lot of options when it comes to these DTs. He doesn't exactly have to do anything with it just yet, but I'm worried about this Raven.
I'm very worried as well. The bunker goes down, but the Raven does survive. I believe it just threw down 2 of these auto torches just to stay alive. Meanwhile, again, I'm surprised that we haven't seen the DTs really come into play yet. Astrea just biding his time, waiting for the opportune moment.
I have a feeling based on the path that medevac just took that it might have seen it, but either way, I do think the way that Astrea is looking to do this is he's looking to warp in those DTs at a very strange moment. Maybe when Dream moves out for a push, or when there's some action already going on. Just trying to preserve that surprise factor.
Yeah, unfortunately, it did seem as if it did scouted, because Dream is throwing down some of these turrets, so he does have detection available in his bases. DTs can of course deal damage to maybe like the army as it moves out across the map or something, but now it looks like is the time Astrea does warp into DTs.
Yeah, there we go. Just gonna be warping them in with the War Prism, looking to drop them onto the main, but pretty unlikely they're going to get any damage. He's just trying to open up some avenues for attack here and there. They might even distract him a little bit as he pushes out here, allowing Astrea to pick off medevac or Raven or tank or something like that. But no, it looks like a Dream looking quite in control of this game so far.
Yeah, definitely. Much more so than the previous game. Third CC is on the way. Prism comes in, and it looks like it is going to go down to both the Viking and the Mistletoe. DT is going to be able to deal some damage anyway. We'll see how much, as both of them do hit the natural and the main at the same time.
Yeah, both teams going to be going down. Dream heavily defended here, but this does delay his push, and it gives Astrea more and more time. Astrea's been able to get into those extra gates, get charge on the way. Even has his robotics bay finished up, and 8 SCVs going down when he was fully prepared. That's not great.
Yeah, it's not just the 8 SCVs, it's also the missile turrets. It's a lost mine time as well, and now here we go. Dream is pushing up this ramp. He's only got 1 tank with this army, and we do have some of those force fields to slow this down.
Yeah, Astrea's been very effective with the force fields of slowing down the army, and we even see him there with that Immortal, just kind of baiting this army in, trying to split it in half with the force fields. We do see the Immortal is going to be going down, but quite a few units being taken out, and oh my goodness, this is a huge run by the Zealots. This is going to completely deny the third.
Yeah, there's no way for Dream to really hold on. There we go. The reinforcements back at home are going to be dealt with. The boys are pulled off the line. A lot of lost mine time, and now the Zealots are going to turn around, maybe even prepare for a sandwich on this army.
Yeah, there we go. We have a massive armor shred going down, but the warpins for Astrea, they are big. They are serious warpins that he has here. He has just bought himself way too much time, and Dream has to get on out of there.
Yeah, forced to pick up, but he loses both of his tanks in the process. The surround was real. The Colossus are out, and we can see that the Gateway Explosion has already finished. We have the 4th Nexus finishing up as well. Astrea, once again, just has the map control. He's even going for DT Blink.
Why not?
Oh my god.
You can do anything.
For free, Papias. Oh, we do have the Zealots coming in. A clutch disable on that Colossus, but there just may be too many gateway units.
Yeah, there are just way too many Zealots here. Dream's just going to have to kite all the way back to his base, but that does leave this third base open. We're seeing a few SCVs going down. Does look like he might almost be able to pick off that Colossus, just not quite. The Vikings should be able to finish off the job, but it's the Zealots that are the real problem here.
Yeah, exactly. The Zealots are supreme. It looks like the Colossi will go down in the end due to those Vikings. Oh, and Dream was able to hold on, not losing too much. I believe only 8 SCVs went down. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, I did manage to deal with that pretty well, and he is going to be looking to stabilize here. He does have that armory on the way for the +2, has the Ghosts and the EMP upgrade on the way as well, and Astrea has a fairly short-term army here with all these Zealots.
It really does, but, you know, is it really a short-term army? Zealots are pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see how this does develop as the 4th base is now fully operational for Astrea. We see DT Blink finishing up. DTs are moving out throughout the map. They are fanning out. Oh my god, one of them even going to be slipping in towards the main base.
Yeah, Astrea's being super annoying with these DTs, and with that Blink as well, he's going to be able to cause so much chaos.
He really is. Forces a scan in towards the 3rd base. We have another DT slipping in towards the natural as well. As you were saying, it's not necessarily dealing game-ending damage, but it's just keeping Dream's attention back at home while Astrea just refines his army.
Yeah, it's just doing that extra damage, giving Astrea space to breathe, stopping Dream from starting to push and put pressure on and shave off some of these units, but looks like Dream going to be moving out anyway. Has a really nice timing here with the 1-1 and Ghosts, and 2-2 on the way behind this, so does have longevity in this game, as there's not that many Colossus here for Astrea, just the one.
Yeah, he's only just now working on his 2nd robo, so he's only making 1 unit at a time. We have a disruptor on the way behind this, so Astrea may be accidentally forgetting that production, but regardless, he is maxed anyway. He doesn't have the most spectacular army, not the most high-tech army, but a large one nonetheless.
Yeah, he really wants to trade off some of these Zealots, especially before Dream can get into a high-tech army. But Dream, he has split off this army beautifully. I love how he's done this. He should have enough here at home to deal with the army if it funnels in the right way. But oh, he needs to micro versus Zealots.
Oh my god, exactly. He takes a little bit too many swipes to the face. Here's Astrea. It breaks the 3rd and pushes on forward in towards the natural. That drop across the map is dealing a lot of damage. We have the picture-in-picture here. It looks like the Nexus may go down, but can we really stop Astrea from even going into the main?
Yeah, I don't know if we can, especially going down a ramp like this into Colossus. It does look like Astrea recognizing that. He's going to be pulling the Zealots back a little bit. Does have this Disruptor on the way as well, so if Dream is not looking, this could be the biggest Nova shot of Astrea's career right here.
It really couldn't. I hope we're looking. As here we go. The Nova goes off, but it doesn't go up the ramp. Oh, Widowmine shots are going to be going off. Massive Widowmine shots actually on the Gateway Army. Forces a recall.
Yeah, there we go. The recall going to be committed. A lot of chaos being caused on the side of Dream, but Dream also able to take out one of the bases of Astrea. He should be able to just go home, lick his wounds, heal up all of this army, and get ready for a second push once his 2-2 hits.
Yeah, exactly. We're in a really interesting place where Dream actually killed both the 5th and the 3rd base of Astrea. He's right now just trying to retake it. He's double expanding as we speak. The army's coming on forward, though. The EMPs do blanket the army of Astrea, but here come the flanking disruptors.
Oh, very nice micro from Dream there. He's able to dodge that one out. He's able to snap out both of those, but there is just too many Zealots here. A lot of damage going down on those units there, as we do have one more of these disruptors being taken out. So very nice for Dream that he's able to do so, but his army is battered and bruised. His medevacs are very low. I really think it's quite risky to continue to be out on the map right now.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he's getting a lot of value. Like, he is out trading Astrea straight up. It's really impressive what Dream is able to do with so little. It's unfortunate that he's doing this now and not earlier, because he is still pretty far behind. And speaking of being behind, the DTs just continue to harass.
Yeah, gonna have to be using the scan there, even committing a turret, and Dream is just so far behind in the supply. He's gonna get caught out at the bottom of the map here, and does get on out of there, but Astrea, he's in such a comfortable spot here. He's on his 5 bases. He's got his tech pumping here, and there is just so many options for him for how he wants to proceed in this game.
Yeah, exactly. How exactly does Wyndham proceed? Well, he proceeds by attacking the third base for the third time here. I don't believe he has detection with his main army. Wouldn't mind shots are going to be going off, but it may not matter anyway. The drop is going across the map, and again, is going to be able to deal a lot of damage, but again, can he stop the main army of Astrea?
Yeah, there we go. That CC finally going to be going down, and these Colossus on these low health bio are just doing way too much damage. I think this will be the end. And Astrea looking to take a 2-0 lead for RagnaroK.
Oh, GG gets called. Oh my god, as that's the room heats up even more. Fortunately, not the best picture there of Astrea, but a 2-0 victory, ace versus ace. That's a pretty solid result here for Astrea, and it's a great way to get not just momentum, but also, you know, to invigorate your team as well, to make them feel good. Like, okay, we've started off so well. There's so much less pressure on the other players.
Yeah, and beautiful stuff there coming out from Astrea. So we are going to be going into our next matchup. It is going to be RagnaroK versus Cyan, and RagnaroK definitely looking to be the favorite here. He is one of the aces of Alpha X, and if he can get that 2-0 over Cyan here, that will confirm the win. Very nice, nice and early there for Alpha X.
Oh, and it is quite possible that that will happen. Again, you know, Dream just having a bit of a harder time against Astrea. Astrea having a very unique kind of outlook on the TVP matchup. I'll be honest, I don't see many Protoss players utilize DTs as effectively as he does. It was definitely something that stood out in that series. Oh boy, I'm sure. Oh my god, have I seen this before?
What?
Dream strategy?
What?
That's the.
This is toxic.
That's the lowest strategy I've ever seen.
This is the most toxic thing I've ever seen. There's someone, whoever makes these ladders, and they play against Cyan, and they hate losing to Cyan. There's no other explanation.
This is literally the WTL admin saying he's an ape.
And it's like his builds suck. Everything he does is dumb. Like, what is this?
This is too far. Like, there's no way. I would never say that Cyan has 3 strategy. Give him some respect.
Not to his face, anyway. No, absolutely not. That's just not really something that I personally think of when I think of Cyan.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I think of him necessarily as being extremely strong in the strategy department, but I've never looked at him and been like, this is wrong. This is bad strategy.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
He's not someone where you look at him and you're like, what you're doing doesn't make any sense, you know? Like, I feel like Cyan's a pretty standard player. Like, when I see him, you know, maybe even take down time in DreamHack China, like, it's not like he's, you know, doing something so outlandish or something that doesn't make any sense or anything like that, where he's carried by his mechanics instead of his strategy. So yeah, that's wild.
Gotta be some kind of joke. I just can't believe it's not some kind of joke here.
It's got to be some kind of inside, like, Chinese scene joke, you know, just like how we have XY with the 10 in mindset, you know, suddenly, like,
that's
Cyan.
Not a joke, man. That's for real.
It is. I'm sorry, I stepped out of line there. I rescind my statement.
Right, he'd forgive you. He has the mindset to not be bothered by your statements.
It's true. It's very true. It's very true. Does Cyan have the same mindset though?
He doesn't have 3 in mindset, so that's a good start. As here we go in the top right hand corner of the map, playing for Alpha X. This is RagnaroK.
And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice, representing Good Game Gaming GGG. It is Cyan. With more than 3 strategy. All right, that's like oh my god.
He knows what he's doing.
I know that. the WTL admins may not, I don't know. Oh my god. Well, yeah, with that we do see so far the openers looking quite standard here. Cyan just denying RagnaroK any kind of build, and I guess my eyes here are on Cyan. You know, we don't get to cast him too frequently, but he is in a bit of a rough spot already in this team league match, and he does have to punch up quite a bit. You know, RagnaroK relatively recently, getting second place in GSL.
He leaves with the probe 3 in strategy. Wrong.
Wrong. Everything that he's doing, it's just wrong. It's just
Apparently.
wrong.
As he's going to be dipping on back in here, sees everything he needs to see, forces the unnatural natural as is tradition, and is just going to be going into a bit more of a standard build here.
That's just wrong. Just don't do that.
Wrong. No, shouldn't have done that.
Oh my god. But alas, yeah, as you're saying, nothing too big to take notes of. We do see just Cyan moving out across map just to confirm, just to go for a second scout to see if there's like, a faster third base or any kind of faster tech, any kind of faster gases. And I don't blame him whatsoever, because RagnaroK can be a very tricky, a very wild player. I didn't get to see his stats, but his strategy should be up there in like 10. Should be a 10.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen apparently, but we do see this probe just going to be confirming the pull off of gas, so it knows that it is something fairly standard, not going to be any Ravager all in or anything like that, as we do see his Link's going to be cleaning up that probe as it gets this last little bit of scouting, and we do see a Stargate first coming out of Cyan, so things going to be pretty standard so far. I do think of Cyan as a relatively standard player.
Oh, okay.
What is it?
I think of Cyan too. I did know. It is quite late. What is it? It's almost midnight, mate. Oh my god. I did take notice of Cyan's posture as well. He was actually just posture checking himself, just making sure that he is seated comfortably and optimally in this match.
It looks like he's got one of them nice chairs, one of them fancy ergonomic chairs.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like, how is this wrong?
That's good strategy, honestly.
That's a +1 in strategy, right? That just the non-gamer chair, like an actual office chair that supports your body as a human. Like,
let's not talk too much about that.
Instead of like these cheap gamer chairs with like a cushion and that's all they got. Like, I
am trying to get the kink out of my neck as we speak. That prawn posture.
As we do see the first Oracle going out across that. Oh, nice timing though with these Lings. They are going to be able to deny this third base. Unfortunately, the Adepts were just a little bit too late here, or one of them actually got caught out in the middle of the map. Oh, the surface area.
The third base not going to be going down. It looks like these Lings, actually quite a lot of Lings being committed here, and they're going to be taking out that first Adept. Going to be forcing some Pulsar Beam out of the Oracle as well.
I told you this is standard, Asher.
It's not. RagnaroK's aggressive.
This is standard. You deny the third base. As he's going to be showing up once again and, getting us around on these Adepts. Unfortunately, once again, a little bit too slow with his Pylon or with his Nexus. And this is a rough start for Cyan.
You would make 40 Lings here and try to win the game.
No, I would drone. Papi.
Animal.
I would drone. I'd make the 40 Lings first. Oh my god. Cyan is eventually going to be able to take his third base, but just a little bit later. Behind this, RagnaroK has not actually been droning. He's making 22 more Lings.
There we go. We do have that Evo on the way, so we'll be able to get that +1. Cyan is just going to take this other base as well. RagnaroK gets a scout, confirms that, and we'll be enjoying a little bit of a lead as he goes into his lair. So just have a lot of tech options on the horizon.
Yeah, this is why I worry a little bit for the Ling investment. He's actually going to be able to catch some Stalkers. Cyan going for the recall, but loses a Stalker anyway. I worry about this investment into Lings just because we do have 2 Oracles over this. We have 3 Oracles even, so we should have plenty of Pulsar Beam energy to protect this base. But despite that, a lot of gateway units go down.
Yeah, a lot of gateway units going down, and if he is looking to go for some kind of timing behind this, some kind of roach timing, even maybe a muta timing, having all these gateway units picked away at, it's just going to make things that much easier for him. So he's kind of putting money in the bank here as he does actually open that door for himself, but with the Oracle energy being committed, he wants to head on out of there.
Yeah, he will dip on out. Behind this, RagnaroK is going to be droning up a little bit, but the Roach Horn was thrown down. We are going for a massive Roach follow-up as the Oracles are kept busy. And this is a little bit dangerous because ideally, at least one of these Oracles would be across the map, not just deal damage, but also to scout and get an eye on the drone count.
Yeah, exactly. And these Roaches maybe just a reaction to that getting started up, as we do see a Dropper Lord as well. So RagnaroK looking to set up maybe even a queen drop.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's picking up his queens. He's going across time with roaches. He's flooding lings behind this. He is going to go for a massive timing attack right now. He's pretty all in. His drone count is quite low. Cyan has superseded him, but he may be regretting that a little bit. We need defenses, and Cyan just doesn't know.
Yeah, a little bit of a Zerg moment on the way, as we are going to be having a whole lot of roaches, ravages, even this queen drop on top, and with the lings getting on top of these units here, I think it's going to be very, very difficult to get anything done here. Cyan might just have to give up this third.
Yeah, exactly. The shield battery goes down. The overcharge doesn't even get popped. The wall is not a wall, and the lings, they get in towards the natural and the main base. The piles rain down on the mineral line, and again, there was just no preparation for this. He just didn't know that this was coming.
C3. As RagnaroK doesn't look too impressed with that one nice clean victory coming out from him, and Cyan unfortunately never really being allowed to get on into that game, having a bit of a rough go of it there.
Yeah, GG. You can see how things can very quickly snowball for the Protoss player. When it comes to your first handful of units, like your first Adepts and your first Oracles are so important if you're going for a faster third base like this. Without them, then we can see that they can be denied, and once they're denied the first time, the Zerg player can just keep the pressure on and make like life so difficult for the Protoss player to actually get into a more normal game, into a macro game, into that third base play.
Yeah, so Cyan really just not being able to do what he was looking for there, but he will have the opportunity here to pick out a map, and that might mean that he has some sneaky strategies on board here. Maybe something that he has specially prepared on a special map, and yeah, there we go. We are going to be getting Stargazers, probably the most unique map in the pool.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I want to believe that he has something special in store for us, especially on a unique map like this, but apparently he has 3 strategies, so I don't know. He's got one build, mate. But jokes aside, I 100% believe he has something special in store for us here.
Yeah, definitely. And Stargazers is a map where there are a lot of options. You have that back base as well, so I hate to say it, but this is a good map if you want to turtle up and go straight into Sky Toss as well.
Do you think that's why it's 3 strategy? I've seen him turtle in PvC before.
They casted a game and they got bored in the game and they kind of hated it, and they're like, 3 strategy. We're just gonna keep giving him crap strategy scores until he starts doing strategies that we like.
That may be what happened, unironically. It's very possible. It's very possible. So yeah, we'll see. As you were saying, it's a great map to turtle and go into Sky Toss. I do think that that's maybe what he's looking to go for, as spawning in the top right-hand corner of Stargazers, we have his opponent representing Alpha X. It is RagnaroK.
In the top left-hand corner of the map, in the red, this is Cyan.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
That's a pool burst.
It is.
Oh.
At least it's not a 12 pool.
It's true. It's true.
Also, I don't see many 12 pools.
Yeah. Like, I get spoiled by David's stream.
Watch me play Protoss. You can see some 12 pools there.
I will. Oh god. But yeah, you're right. It's actually been a while. Oh my god. It's been a while since I've seen a player go for a 12 pool here in the ZVP matchup at this competitive level. I'm sure there's good reason for it. I'm sure it's just not very good. I'm sure it's like been played out, and a lot of these maps just aren't really ideal for it. As RagnaroK's natural is the lane.
Yeah, there we go. RagnaroK being forced once again to take the unnatural natural, and I do feel like it's really going to be on Cyan for this game to show something a little different, show some interesting strategies, and go for maybe something different than the Stargate, or maybe an all-in off the same Stargate opening. That would be a nice way to mix things up.
Definitely. I do look forward to that. You can also, of course, take the pocket base as your third and be insanely secure in doing so. But I worry because RagnaroK is hyper aggressive, so we also have to make sure that as a Protoss player, Cyan is on top of his scouting. For the time being, everything's looking quite normal. It's interesting that RagnaroK opened up with that pull first. It looked like maybe he was anticipating some kind of cheese or very early game aggression.
Yeah, the Link Scout gets right on in. We do see that Warp Gate being researched first, so it doesn't look like it's going to be a Stargate this time. We actually see a second gate being started up, so it could be one of these 3-gate openings that have been becoming a lot more popular in the matchup.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Definitely keeping my eye on the production tab for another gateway to be thrown down. I'm sure at the moment Cyan wants to clean up, oh my god, clean up that lane as we have a proxy pylon out on the map.
Yeah, it's going to be a very aggressive variation coming out from Cyan.
Yeah, it should be proxying a gateway across the map. Maybe even there we go. The gateway is thrown down, so 3 gates in total. No Twilight Council, no Glaives, no Blink or anything like that, but we can be hyper aggressive with our vanilla gateway units.
Yeah, we're going to have a pretty fast warp in point there to just keep on warping in those adepts 3 at a time. And if you can start to get some pressure on towards the main and then warp in and send to the third, that can be a way to get things a little bit complicated for the defense.
Definitely, as the adepts are here, they already pick up 2 of these drones, not bad damage whatsoever, but we do have a link slipping in towards the main base of RagnaroK, and this confirms the proxy because there is 0 tech in the main, and that is incredibly sus.
Yeah, that Ling also blocked the Twilight Council, and I'm not sure if Cyan noticed yet.
I'd like to think he noticed. I'd like to think he did. Maybe he didn't, as the adepts are going to get caught out here out in the middle of the map. They all get cleaned up. We do have 3 adepts being warped in, and they're going to be able to help deal with this. But now the proxy location has been scattered. There is a Twilight Council.
Yeah, there we go. So it's going to be going down in a bit of a delay. We do see Cyan's gas starting to float up a little bit there. So at the same time, at RagnaroK, he is just going to sit back on 37 drones here, getting that Roach Warrant up, getting a huge flood of Lings here. So he is really not looking to take any damage from this. He wants to be super safe right now.
Oh, he really does. You say super safe. I say super aggressive as, again, I don't see him droning whatsoever. He does confirm the wall at the third base. Sorry, at the natural, but there's no shield battery behind that. So you know what that means? That means it's time to bust, Papi. Oh my god.
Yeah, there we go. I think he realizes there that the oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say I think he realizes that the shade's a bit too late, but I guess he thinks about the blink as well, and he goes, I don't really know what that's gonna achieve, so I guess we just have to go with the depth glaives after all. And yeah, this does feel like he's almost already missing his time here.
Yeah, just the indecision in and of itself just shows the lack of confidence that he has right now. I think he knows how late everything is. He knows that the chances of this working isn't very high. So he's going to go for a Hail Mary play. He is biding his time. He's building up that adept count even further. Interesting that he's actually going for a Forge.
Yeah, maybe just looking to go out into a bit more of a macro game. I would have liked to see maybe Blink instead, but he's going to have to commit to these adepts now that he is researching Glaives. Unfortunately, though, RagnaroK is able to get on top of this with his Roaches, and the Roach is going to be trading out very well with these adepts.
Yeah, they will, but there aren't too many Roaches, and this is a little bit dangerous for RagnaroK. But here we go. The Lings go for a full surround on the Adepts. No Ravagers to bile, but we may not need them as the Adepts are getting cleaned up.
Yeah, those Lings are able to make quick work of the Adepts, and they are not stopping. We do have a lot headed on over to the third or natural layer of Cyan, and I'm not really sure how he's going to be able to hold on. We do have some batteries being started on up, so that definitely will help, but RagnaroK kind of has the whole map to himself now.
Yeah, exactly. The map is to himself. He has started droning. I was concerned because he was at like 37 drones for such a long time, but we do see that finally he has recouped that. So we do have Roaches moving out across the map. We do have a shield battery, thankfully. We do have an overcharge as well. No Ravagers, so it's going to be difficult to actually break this location. Okay, there we go. 2 Ravagers now showing up.
Yeah, okay, those Ravagers going to be putting some damage down onto that shield battery there, and we do see a lot more shield batteries behind this for Cyan, but I think it's too little, too late as the Lings are starting to break through.
Oh, they really are. The Cyber Core is under threat. We see 6 shield batteries on the way. Oh my god, that's a lot of shield batteries, but they just got thrown down. And as you were saying, mate, too late, or it feels that way.
We have some good force fields coming down, but RagnaroK just going to use those biles to break those open, and it looks like Cyan is out of force fields, and with that, might be out of hopes for recovering this game, as we do see a lot of probes going down now.
Yeah, exactly. The shield batteries are finishing up, but at this point, what is there really left? There's 3 zealots and a stalker. It looks like with these handful of units, he's going to be able to clean this up, but look at the losses. 17 probes have gone down, and the roaches waddle into the main.
Yeah, that was some nice blocking with the probes there, just to stop any of those roaches and ravages from getting away, but looks like we are going to be seeing a lot of these probes going down, and RagnaroK has done devastating damage at this point.
Oh god, yeah, the damage is devastating. RagnaroK behind this, he's droning up heavily. He's going for a Spire. Oh my god, because why the hell not? We do see +2 on the way for Cyan. Did he end up researching Blink? Did you take note of that, or?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, he's got glaives, which will be useful. Yeah, he's just gonna be looking to try and solidify his position here on these 3 bases. He's got the next side at least.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Just got a hodgepodge of units here. I don't think he's got any chances of being able to get out on the map anytime soon. And behind this, we see a Spire being brought up. So RagnaroK, not only being able to keep him in the base there, will have huge amounts of counter potential once he finally amasses enough of a force to move out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. We'll see what that counterattack is going to be looking like. For the time being, it looks like RagnaroK has kind of backed off for now. He's building up his army. Oh my god, I spoke too soon because he's going for some Dropper Lords.
I love this. This is a really good choice on this map, but the Overlord actually going to be seen by this observer here, and I hope Cyan did spot that one out, and looks like he is starting to move some units into the back of his base.
Oh, exactly. The Overlords are making their way towards that pocket base. At the same time, the main army is going to be threatening the potential 4th base of Cyan. It looks like his army is looking a little bit idle, and there we go. He's being distracted by the mass drop.
Yeah, there we go. Those things going to be coming in through the back here. Such a great angle to abuse here on Stargazers, as we do see that. He's going to set up the push on the front.
Oh my god, exactly. And the Immortal was completely, I guess, out of position. The majority of these gateway units already going to be going down here on the front line. At the same time, Lings are being cleaned up, but everything at that pocket base is forfeit, and GG gets called.
Yeah, with the sighting of those immuters, GG has to be called, and RagnaroK almost looks disappointed there. Gets a pretty comfortable 2-0.
Yeah, that was a little bit brutal. Like, I don't think we've seen a match quite like this, but it did feel like RagnaroK was insanely comfortable against Cyan in all these games. And it's really peculiar to me because, like, I've had the luxury of casting Cyan in the DreamHack regionals, in the ESL Open Cups, in these online tournaments, and he usually doesn't look like this. He usually has it a little bit more together, and I have to speculate and wonder if it's maybe a little bit of nerves, or maybe there's something else going on. But yeah, there were moments where, like, again, it felt like you could just see the lack of confidence in his play. It felt that way anyway.
Mate, the hexagon rating got to him.
It was a 3 in strategy, but really it was a 3 in mindset. But yeah, GG, well played. RagnaroK does take the 2-0 here. My condolences to Cyan, and now we have one matchup left in this series.
Yeah, there we go. We're gonna have Zoun versus Rattata, and this is a very even match, I think. Zoun has been improving a little bit in terms of form. He was a little bit off form before, but he's kind of looking to return into the Zoun of old, so it'll be exciting to see what he can do against a strong European player like Rattata.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like Rattata, I feel like he's a little bit underrated as a player in the European scene, but he can definitely take it to the best of them. We saw him last week play against Scarlet, if I'm not mistaken, in his series against Shopify Rebellion, and he didn't look too bad there, all things considered. But maybe he can have a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more variety against Zoun.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to need to bring his A game here so he can get a few maps on the board for GGG and help them avoid the relegation at the end of the season.
Oh boy. Exactly. Can they pull it off? We will find out soon. Zoun, likewise, is a very powerful player, but I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like Zoun has been I don't know, like hibernating these past couple of months. Like he's been, I feel like floating a little bit under the radar. Maybe it's because there's so much limelight on creator and so much limelight on hero as well, that they're kind of like taking some of that away from Zoun. But yeah, I feel like we haven't seen as much from him.
Yeah, I do think he's been playing a little bit less. I do think, to be completely honest as well, he's probably a little bit weaker than those players at the moment. He's been a little out of form, but he's always a player that showed a lot of promise. And I think if he is feeling more motivated with the game, I wouldn't be surprised to see him pulling in some better results than he's had in the past.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, he's still here, still competing on a weekly basis in the World Team League. So, yeah, just all eyes are on Zoun to see if he can take down Rattata. I feel like an informed Zoun, 100% he can do it. But nowadays, you know, I'm not as certain, as we're going to be having a look at that Hexagon. And, ooh, a solid amount of nines here.
Yeah, definitely getting the nod there. Pretty strong player. And we do see the Hexagon for Rattata as well coming out here. Going to get that nod in offense and macro. I have to agree.
Oh, yeah. He can be a very aggressive player. I feel like that's what he's mainly known for, and we'll see if he can flex that aggression, as the first game is going to be on Data C.
Yeah, we are going to be starting off on Data C. That does give both our players a lot of room to work with, so it's going to be nice to see these two feel each other out and get into a bit more of a mid-game, hopefully.
Oh, yeah, I hope so. I feel like that previous PVZ it left me wanting. It left me wanting of a more back and forth, of something a little bit more spicy, and I hope that's what we get here, as spawning in the right-hand side of Data C, representing Alpha X, Zoun.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map for Good Game Gaming, this is Rattata.
Oh boy. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how Rattata performs here. Similarly to Zoun, I feel like we haven't been able to cast too much of him, you know, like despite, you know, covering like these OSC events, or, you know, some of these DreamHack regionals and stuff like that. Yeah, I want to see Rattata once again. I want to see what he has to offer. I've seen more of Vanya than I've seen of Rattata, to be honest.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there as well, but Rattata, he is, a player that's been quite consistent, always fairly strong, always a threat. Not quite getting the results that he might want here, but I kind of always feel like he has the potential to upset anyone.
Yeah, like when I think of Rattata, I think he's like the next generation. Like he's like so close to being like the next generation of like Clem and like Raynor and like Cyril, you know. He's like the young kid that like really blew up, I feel like, towards the end of last year, maybe even the beginning of this year, and he's like got so much potential for greater heights. You know, he got picked up by a Korean team. That's how notable he was. Like these Korean teams, they don't just pick up any European, you know. They're very selective here with who they go for. So yeah, it was always really exciting to see him get picked up by a Good Game Gaming.
Yeah, definitely. Just a player with a lot of promise in general, but so far we do see pretty standard builds coming out from both players. Are going to see that unnatural, natural, but apart from that, nothing out of the ordinary, and we're just going to be waiting to see what the first tech of the Protoss will be.
Yeah, pretty much. Are we going to see the Stargate, or are we going to see the Twilight Council? Zoun isn't the most standard of Protoss players. Kind of off the vein of Creator, is looking to be aggressive whenever he can be, but we do have the Stargate.
Yeah, there we go. So Stargate going to be going down. Pretty standard play coming out from Zoun. We do often see him opt for a Void Ray first, going into some more stylistic choices, maybe a Twilight Council behind that. He is a player that has, just a pretty good variety of builds.
Yeah, exactly. It can be very unpredictable because of that. Meanwhile, the Ling does slip in towards the main base, but wasn't able to get a full scout off. Doesn't confirm the tech exactly. So Rattata is going to be a little bit in the dark for the time being.
Yeah, there we go. Just going to be scanning through. Confirms that unnatural, natural third.
The
Is that enough
natural.
unnaturals?
Natural.
The in-base third? The in-natural third. Yeah.
There you
We'll go
go.
with that.
There you go. There you go. Look, we just want to make sure our terms are clear. We all know what we're talking about. Uh, as we do see, the Adept just confirming the drone count at the third base of Rattata. So Zoun looking pretty comfortable where things are. And now we have the first Oracle moving out across the map. A second Oracle is going to be behind this to try and establish a third base. Rattata, though, immediately across the map with his links, looking to deny that if that is to be the case.
And an Adept and a Shade together cover a lot of ground.
They do. Looks crazy.
We do have this first Oracle going to be dipping on in, seeing if it can pick up any damage, but Rattata going to be leaving the space clear. Going to be forced to go for that Spore Trick as well, but Zoun going to try to get some damage on that, and very nice micro coming out from Rattata there. Will save the drone.
Oh, yeah, very crisp micro there. Doesn't lose any units unnecessarily. A little bit of lost resources because of the cancels, but that is more than worth it. Meanwhile, there is the follow-up. We are seeing a Forge and a Twilight Council.
Yeah, there we go. So what has become very standard in this matchup, just the 4 gases, the Twilight, the Forge. This is just everything that we expect most of the time. Multiple Oracles, should be Blink Stalkers on the way behind this if nothing's really been thrown around or thrown off in the build order of Zoun.
Yeah. So very standard play coming out from Zoun, and he has been able to happily get up towards his third base. Meanwhile, Rattata is getting a safety, Roach Horn, and a Lair. So likewise is going to be meeting the macro of his opponent and is looking to get into, I imagine, Ling Bane, Roach Ravager as the composition of choice. That is not Blink.
Yeah, actually going to be starting up a fair few gateways all at once. Going to have that Twilight Archives on the way, so looks like we're gearing up for a Zealot Archon push.
Oh, exactly. And that's why the Baneling Nest is so important. That's also why, the +1 melee openers have fallen out of fashion a little bit, because it isn't entirely clear that a Protoss player is always going to go into those Blink Stalkers. If they were, then, +1 melee Lings and things like Hydras would be ideal, but sometimes it's a little bit difficult to read in current meta because of these Chargelets and Archon compositions.
Yeah, for sure. But behind this, we do see we are actually going to be getting that layer. We're going to be getting a lot of gases thrown down for Rattata as well as that +1 melee. So it does look like he's opening himself up for the possibility of either a very heavy Ravager attack or Mutas. And there we go. The Spire does go down.
Ooh, and it immediately gets scouted as well by Zoun. The timing of his Oracle was impeccable, and now he knows to get ready to throw down some shield batteries and cannons in his mineral lines to prioritize his Archon production as well with his main army.
Yeah, we're going to be getting some damage being put down on this nice early 4th here as well. Forcing a cancel there, but only a small delay. And the Archon has been revealed. I wonder if that throws up some warning signs for Rattata.
100%. There's no reason for an Archon to be here if we're going for the Blink Stalker hero style. So he knows to prioritize his Roach Ravager for his main army, or to rely on Banelings if he really does want to commit to those melee upgrades. We'll see kind of how he rounds out that army composition. For the time being, just going to be droning.
Oracle going to be dipping on in. There's no Spore here, so we'll be able to get on out of there with its life. Takes out a couple of those drones as well. Zoun just trying to keep tabs on everything as he gears up, and we have a very fast Stargate transition coming out, so looks like the charge won't be used for a timing, will rather be used just to keep safe here, and we're seeing a lot of green out of Zoun. It's kind of crazy how few gateway units he's getting away with making.
I'll be honest, as a Zerg player, I almost threw up. I was like, I was scared and disgusted at the same time. I couldn't contain myself. But yeah, so he's going to be getting ready for a transition into Skytoss. This is very unexpected. Rattata is already working on +1 air attack though, so he's actually not looking too bad to transition into an army to deal with this if it does get scouted. But as you were saying, Zoun should be looking to be relatively defensive and relatively passive. Losing any high-tech units too early will just snowball into potentially a loss.
Yeah, there we go. The Observer going to be seeing everything, so it looks like these Archons were just being sent out to just try to kite the units back towards the base, and with that stasis trap there, he will be fairly safe, but it's crazy how few units he's getting away with making, and I wonder if the Mutas are going to be able to punish that.
We shall see. I mean, we already have shield batteries and cannons. That's the thing. Like, the mutas shouldn't be dealing any damage in the mineral lines. Maybe they can pick up some high-tech units, as we already have Phoenixes in production. Zoun is getting ready to hard counter these mutas.
Yeah, Zoun is playing a very flexible game so far, and I really like that. He's just going to be staying on this 4th bases for a little while here on the 8 gases and just pumping out the Phoenix and Disruptors. And yeah, we do get that first viewing of the Phoenix. Most importantly as well, the Phoenix are actually zoning Rattata away from getting a scout of the triple Stargate.
Yeah, and this is brutal. Again, the mutas, they have done no damage whatsoever. And this was a pretty massive gas investment. Sure, Rattata is maxed out, but a lot of supply is tied up in the mutas. And even though we have a lot of Lingbane Roach Ravager, disruptors are on the way. And all it takes is 1 or 2 big Novas, and that is it for the Zerg army.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a pretty dedicated attack coming out from Rattata. It's very important that this does get some damage and probably some eco damage as well.
Yeah, we'll see. Here we go, Rattata. He's looking to try and dive on top of that triangular 3rd base Nova. Sorry, Station Strap is going to be going off, and here come the Novas. Ooh.
Huge Nova takes out almost every Baneling there. We do see the last few being committed to the Archons as the Phoenix are kiting back those mutas. Zoun doing a marvelous job of controlling both armies on both sides. Is just going to be sending in his Phoenix to clear up the last of the Ravagers.
He was down, I think, 70 supply. Around 60 supply compared to Rattata, and he just completely dumpstered this army. Oh my god. We have a second wave there. Rattata, he's not going to go down without a fight. He doesn't want to give up, not this easily. And now the defenses are looking a little bit weaker here. Specifically, that Nexus is quite low. The Banelings did connect with that structure, and in the next wave, they can bring it down.
Yeah, they can. It's going to be very important for Rattata to get these Archons in the way.
Oh! He wasn't looking, puppy. He wasn't looking.
Absolutely huge Novas coming out from Zoun there.
Yeah, Rattata unfortunately was a little bit preoccupied by the Zealot run-by, and the Novas go off. Meanwhile, 2 more Novas are going to be going off once again here on the Roach Ravager, and Rattata, he's just losing so much.
Yeah, a lot of Banes being committed on these Archons here, not the most efficient of trades. We do see the Phoenix going to be dipping on in to help on out, and if these last few Ravagers do go down, that was a huge commitment from Rattata, and it really did not get enough done. Zoun finding himself with a very comfortable supply lead here, and it's high-tech supply too.
All he had to do was be the defender, and he's like, yo, I'm sure the Zerg would just ram into my brick wall of a 3rd, right? That's exactly what happened. Oh my god, Zoun was just looking so comfortable and so confident in his defense, and now it's time to counterattack.
Yeah, there we go. This counter is going to be on the way. We do have these Stalkers dipping on in here, trying to find themselves a little crevice in between the hatcheries and the minerals, and it's going to be pretty hard for Rattata to deal with. He does have a lot of Lings here. They are going to be looking to get us around. Maybe a slight overextension here by Zoun.
Definitely. I mean, was it worth it? He does get a kill in the hatchery, but ooh, a lot of Stalkers are going to be going down, and suddenly the pendulum does swing in Rattata's favor. We do have a couple of Disruptors, 3 Disruptors defensively. Rattata, can he deal with this? Oh, it looks like he will not, and he himself has to be careful not to overextend.
Oh yeah, another fair few big Novas coming out. Meanwhile, decent splits coming out from Rattata. He's able to minimize the damage, but there's definitely enough damage going down here, as we do have one hell of a scrappy game between these 2 players. A couple of Archons going to be going down as well. This Archon count really has dwindled here for Zoun.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. This 3rd base, we're lacking in a couple of things, namely shield batteries. We have 1 shield battery, when really we should be seeing 3, maybe even 4, just as an outpost, but it's not going to be enough anyway. GG gets called, and Zoun takes the first game.
GG, and in the end, things got a little bit difficult for him. I think it did come down to getting some insane Novas.
Yeah.
Maybe if he didn't get those, he was pretty low on the unit count. Things could have been different, but
true.
Yeah, this is one of these things. The defensive properties of Data C having to funnel up through these ramps does make it very difficult to dodge splash.
100%. I do back you on that one, where despite how insane Zoun was not just trading with his disruptors, but also completely shutting down the mutas and going for these zealot run-bys, Rattata was able to make it close anyway. He wasn't able to touch the economy of Zoun, but there were so many moments where he was so close to breaking the army, and then the dominoes would fall, and then a base would crumble.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do see for the next map, he is picking out Waterfall. So nice, small, aggressive map. And I do think we're going to be seeing some very aggressive play coming out from him.
Oh, we really should. Waterfall, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an early pool. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an early Roach Warren as well. Likewise, Zoun should be aware of this. And you were talking about it in game number 1 about Zoun potentially opening up Void Ray. It would make more sense if he did do that in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a lot of options here as we head on into this one. And I do want to point out as well, Alpha X looking to get the 6-0 here. That would be a huge win for them because they are right up the top of the ladder. They're actually going to be second behind Onside Gaming with a 1-game lead over DPG and Psystorm if they can get this win. And that's heading into the last 2 rounds of the season.
Oh, it really is. But in the top right-hand corner, we have our Protoss player Zoun.
And the bottom left for Good Game Gaming, it is Rattata.
But yeah, just to touch on what you were saying, like Alpha X has been doing surprisingly well. Like they've been getting some really solid results. I would have to go into like specific details, but I think a lot of that is off the back of both Astrea and RagnaroK. I mean, Astrea, RagnaroK, and Zoun, the 3 of them just getting really solid results in their matches.
Yeah, they've been popping off, and I mean they've beaten almost every team in the league. The only big team that they really haven't faced off against yet is well, they haven't faced Shopify, which they'll face next week, and they have Onside after that. So there are still some tough matches, but they've only lost 1 match in the entire World Team League so far, and that was to DPG.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, there's no shame in that. Meanwhile, speaking of no shame, Rattata does open up with a proxy hatch or with a hatch block across the map. Zoun responding quite well here, throwing down a forge so we can get some cannons up in case you do have a big commitment. But, what's interesting is that Rattata did not go for an early pull.
Yeah, interesting. The other thing that's rather interesting about this is he hasn't expanded to his natural just yet. Looks like he is going to be doing that now as we do have that block on the natural, forcing the unnatural natural. And he's just looking to just throw off the rhythm of the game here. We do have a cannon being thrown down for Zoun, so the Zealot and the cannon and the forge, quite a lot of commitment here to deal with this.
Yeah, a lot of commitment when it comes to dealing with a hatchery that, is going to be canceled. Like, there's nothing really here. So I'm sure Rattata is happy with the inadvertent damage that he has dealt so far this game. And we'll see. Oh, mate, if I were him, I would even, I would even try and steal the gas. But Zoun is aware of that. He already has a probe in position. Oh.
Ooh. Oh. He almost pushed it off there. Oh, the Zealot pushing him off.
Oh, mate, this Zealot has no chill. He's like, out of the way. He's like, it's like he crossed the road to like push someone over to move out of the way. It's crazy. Oh my god, almost.
Yeah, it's
almost
like he's the lollipop man or lady at the crossing for the school kids, and he's just like, I need to stand in the middle of the road here to stop the cars, pushes the kid over into the ground to get him out of the way. He's like, you are blocking me from doing my job, smashes the kid on the ground and goes, now you're safe to cross. And the kid's just lying on the ground like,
you broke my legs. I can't walk.
It's like, I said it's safe to cross.
That's exactly what just happened. The bully Zealot, as we do have the adept coming across the map, and this is an insane amount of damage. Unfortunately, because of the delay, because of the delays here on the side of Rattata, there was no queen in position, and 2 drones went down.
Yeah, quite a lot of damage with that adept. I really liked the way he was using that adept as well, just to stand right on top of the drone so they couldn't go for a quick spore trick as well.
Yeah, exactly. Very nice, very kind of detailed play there coming out from Zoun, and as a result, we're going to be transitioning into a pretty standard opener from Zoun. I mean, we are going for an Oracle as a follow-up, and we don't really see anything too aggressive coming out from Rattata. Because there were no early pulls and no early gases, there's no way to get an earlier Roach Warren.
Yeah, for sure. And from the back of this, I feel like we kind of find ourselves in a fairly even game, even though it's been thrown for a loop this way and that.
Yeah. Definitely. I feel like depending on when or if Zoun decides to take a third base, we're going to see things kind of shift a little bit when it comes to the momentum. Speaking of Rattata, as opposed to last game, he's going for a much faster Evo Chamber.
Yeah, quick Evo Chamber on the way. Zoun does have the potential to scout that out here. Doesn't really get too much damage with this Oracle, but hopefully going to be throwing down a Revelation at the third.
Oh, I hope so as well. He was able to get a full scout of the main and the natural, confirming that there wasn't anything too much there. We do see a full surround of these adepts, but there are 3 adepts. They have plenty of DPS. The Lings do regret all of that, and we just point out once again that Zoun hasn't lost a single unit.
Yeah, there we go. Zoun on track for the perfect game, as we do see that Twilight going to be going down. Does have his Forge already, of course, so it looks like he's just going to be heading into a fairly standard game off of this.
Oh, exactly. There's the third base. There's the Twilight Council, as you were saying. Meanwhile, we have +1 melee on the way. And this does get scouted by Zoun's double Oracle. Flying a little bit too close there to those queens. Does take a lot of hull damage, but Zoun is not done. He is back with a vengeance with 4 adepts.
Yeah, and there we go. We're actually seeing quite an early robo out of him this time.
Oh. Yeah, very interesting. Robo as opposed to a Forge, and we see why. Oh, no, sorry, he already had a Forge. But we see why he gets an earlier Robo. He's going for that charge once again.
Yeah, there we go. So it looks like it might just be his way of staying safe here, going for that charge for Immortal Archon. Very effective army on the ground. Should be able to keep him safe from any Ling Roach-based attacks, but at the same time, Rattata not going for the most crazy early lair. It's just going to be waiting for that +1. Does have a Baneling Nest this time around as well.
Yeah, and interesting, here at 54 workers, he is making a swell of Lings right now. Very interesting. With these Lings, I guess he can poke and prod at the third base. Oh my god, but he makes even more. 28 Lings on the way.
Yeah, looks like he's looking for a huge force to maybe put a denial on this third. He's going to be able to rally across the map very quickly.
Yeah, exactly, but the positioning is just too good. We have a shield battery, we have overcharge, we have oracles that can come back home as well. And I do worry because this was a massive commitment, and the Banelings are going to get... Oh, I don't know if they were spotted by the oracles.
Yeah, the Banelings may not have been spotted out here, and these Lings, they might be able to drag those probes away the wrong direction and have the Bane slip in on the wrong side. And looks like we are going to be having a lot of damage being committed to. The Banelings getting a little bit stuck there. It's going to be important for them to not be taken out by the oracles before they can do their damage. And this was a really rough fight here for Rattata.
Yeah, unfortunately gets stuck on the Archon. The probes all evacuate safely. He kills a shield battery.
Yeah, that's not really the damage you're looking for with that kind of commitment.
That's some light ZV Asher copium right there. It was worth it. I killed the shield battery, Poppy. Let's go. I do really worry here because not just because it was a massive commitment, as we can see here. Oh my god, it was 32 Lings, 5 Banelings, and he got a Zealot. He got a Zealot and a Pylon and a shield battery.
It's not a perfect game anymore.
But I do worry because that just eats into his droning. You know, now he's finally getting into a pretty decent worker count here at 70 drones, but he could have gotten here sooner. He could have gotten here a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, there we go. We do have a massive swell of units coming out for Rattata once again. Looks like on this small map, he is trying to be very aggressive, trying to maintain the map control, but because of how ineffective that last fight was, Zoun is going to be the one that's able to put on the pressure here.
And here we go. Zoun's going for a massive counterattack. The 5th base is going to be denied immediately. We do have a couple of oracles throwing down some stasis traps as well to help support this army. And we'll see if Rattata has enough to deal with the Zealot Archon.
Yeah, there we go. Gonna be having all these things in roaches actually being dragged into the stasis trap here. A lot of those things going down, but that does actually mean the roaches are going to be able to get on top of these Archons. And we just see a quick recall. A nice catch there by the Prism as Zealots are going to be putting on a little bit of counter damage on the left here. But I think that was overall very effectively handled by Rattata.
Definitely. The surround was on point. The stasis trap didn't really help out Zoun too much. We do have a denial of some mining here at the triangular third at least, so Zoun is applying some counter damage, but Rattata has all supply, and oh my god, that's a kill, not a cancel.
Yeah, kill going down there. We have a lot of Banelings being warped on in, and not as many Archons as before for Zoun. It's going to be very important that he can get those Archons set up in some chokes around shield batteries to try to soak up all of these Banelings.
Yeah, I feel like the Bay was much later this game as well. We do have a Disruptor on the way, but oh, it only just now starts. We need it desperately here if we want to try and hold for Zoun.
Hey, why were you late? I needed you.
Why did you leave me unread? Ay, ay, ay.
Indeed, as we do see. Rattata has found himself in between these bases, and he is able to cut off the units. Does take out all the shields of the Archons, but with a shield battery overcharge being committed here, that is for nothing. And that was just a little bit poorly timed there, as it looks like he was a little distracted by the Zealots of Zoun.
Yeah, a little bit distracted there. The Nova was quite juicy. We do have... Oh, the wall is not a wall. The Lings, they flood on in. They can get on top of the Disruptor.
Yeah, the Lings, they're like, let me at him, but the Disruptor is going to be able to get its shot off, takes off a huge amount of these roaches, and suddenly this army of Rattata is not really looking up to the task. I think Zoun is going to be able to commit here.
Oh my god, he's going for a surround on the Roach Ravager. He will be able to deny +2, but was it worth it at the same time? Ling Roach hitting the right-hand side, but a wall of cannons meets him.
Yeah, there we go. One more Roach going down for a few Zealots there, and we can see here the trades have been actually quite even between the two players.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Relatively even overall, but we have another Zealot Rambo here on the right-hand side. It looks like the reinforcements of Rattata are here in time. Zealots are going to be going down, and honestly not really trading for much at all, just HP onto the hatchery. Zoun is pushing through the center. I feel like this may be a little bit too soon. He has to back off. He needs a higher Disruptor count.
Yeah, definitely needs a little bit more splash, or at the very least, a distraction at the same time. Looks like instead, just going to be setting up some Zealot Rombis, but at the same time, Rattata going for a Rombi of his own, looking to deny this fourth from being taken.
Yeah, the real question is, has Zoun noticed that he lost his forge? So he has to rebuild and restart +2, because for the time being, he's stuck on only +1. He will slowly fall further and further behind in those upgrades, and Rattata is remaxed.
Yeah, Rattata with a serious army here is looking to make sure that this fourth is never to be taken by Zoun. If he can force him as well to commit to a fight to try to hold this fourth, he might just be able to end the game here and now.
Oh, exactly. He wants him to fight without the side defense, without the shield batteries. The cannons and shield batteries are low, but they're not ready yet.
Yeah, some good Novas coming out. Not really able to take out the Bailings, though, and everything being chased all the way back into Zoun's base. We did see the shield battery overcharge, but a lot of these Archons have gone down already. The Novas have been expended. The Bailings going to be taking out that overcharged shield battery as a third Disruptor has arrived, and looks like Rattata doesn't quite have enough, but he's going to be trading out very effectively.
He really is. I mean, taking down that mineral line was huge. Zoun basically on 2 base economy right now, but the Archons are looking to chase whatever he can down. Another Zealot Rambo there at the third base. Doesn't really get much of anything. He only gets 2 drones, and oh, actually gets the hatchery. Oh my god.
Yeah, so just enough Zealots there to finish off the hatchery. We did just see there a second Stargate, I believe, was finished up by Zoun. So he's looking to slowly sneak into higher tech, but doesn't want to get too carried away with that.
He really does not. 2 Novas go off, not really the best connections. The third one was pretty half decent. We see another recall, but once again, a lot of Archons go down.
Yeah, I think there's only one Archon left, and it looks like Zoun, he really did get a little bit too excited here with this attack, and going to be warping in a few more Archons, but I just don't think there's that much meat on the ground to help defend these tech units.
Yeah, Rattata, his economy isn't amazing, but neither is Zoun's. It looks like he's just been trading a little bit too efficiently over these past couple of minutes. We've seen time and time again these Zealot Rombis not really pay for themselves. Zoun maybe just being a little bit overconfident, really not respecting the defensive nature or defensive capabilities of Rattata. We do see that Zoun is trying to get a 4th base up and running. Emphasis on trying, though.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been trying to get that 4th base up and running for long enough by now that it really has been doing him some serious damage. Behind this, we see Rattata going up into 5 bases. He is getting at that +2 range, getting a few extra links here, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see maybe warping in some Banelings, just looking to get some more damage on the mineral line at the third.
Oh, exactly. It'd be a great way to pull Zoun apart, especially because I don't believe Zoun has rebuilt his stack defenses. I think we're lacking in cannons and shield batteries at the third base, so he's going to be very vulnerable. There we go. The Banelings are going to be on the way. At the same time, Rattata's main army is headed towards the 4th.
Oh.
Ooh.
That wasn't the best, using all those Banelings on the assimilator there. But at the same time, he is setting up an attack over here on the 4th, and I just don't think Zoun's going to be able to hold this 4th at all.
I don't think so either, but we'll see. We've seen Disruptors pull us back from the brink before. As we do see the fourth base under threat, the army is rotating over to meet this. It looks like the shield battery is going to be helping out a little bit, but nah, there's just not enough Protoss.
Yeah, the Lings are looking to trap these Archons so the Ravagers can finish them off, and the Archons do find their way back to a shield battery. The Disruptor shots are good. Rattata maybe being a little bit indecisive with the movement here, but we do see one of these Archons going down. A second one very low is going to go down as well. These Disruptors going to be focused down, and I think that's getting towards the beginning of the end here for Zoun. GG is called Rattata with the consolation win for Good Game Gaming.
GG. Good game, and gaming doesn't go down without a fight. Rattata putting a point on the board as he just shuts down that cam. It was a little bit shaky, not gonna lie. You know, there were moments where Rattata was maybe throwing away a little bit too much, but the same can be said for Zoun. Things got quite scrappy, and in the end, it was Zoun just struggling so much to expand and take a fourth. Rattata not having as much troubles.
Yeah, there we go. We just hit that mic drop there for Rattata checking out for the day, and looks like Alpha X going to be getting that 5-1 victory over Good Game Gaming.
There you go. GG, well played. I'm sure Alpha X are quite happy with their performance overall, but I hope Rattata isn't feeling too upset with this. Again, he was able to pull his weight for his team. Unfortunately, they did struggle elsewhere. Again, Astrea and RagnaroK looking so damn good in their own matches, respectively. And with that, that is the conclusion of our first series.
Beautiful. So first series down, we do have Team GP and KyZ after this, so it should be a very exciting matchup. That one is going to be one between two players towards the middle, two teams, sorry, towards the middle of the table. They'll be fighting amongst themselves and Team Liquid. So one of those three teams, Team GP, KyZ, or Team Liquid, are looking like they are going to be in that 8th spot, which means they won't make it to the playoffs. So this is a very important match.
Very important indeed, and we're going to be diving into that match after this break.